Round 14 action in the VFL brought us to the Whitten Oval in Footscray for the top of the table clash between the Bulldogs, who'd won 7 in a row, and the Box Hill Hawks, the reigning premiers. Peter Searle was our very special guest. Peter, it was great to have your company. What were your thoughts on the game? I thought it was a really impressive contest.
Yeah, it was a great game all the way through, and especially that third quarter, the intensity and the tackling, and yeah, it was wonderful to be here and be part of it.
So let's have a look at the highlights, starting off with the Bulldogs, who led earlier. They actually conceded the first goal of the game. It was a great effort from Brandon Wood after some good team pressure from the Box Hill Hawks. But after the Hawks got this first goal, the Bulldogs, kicking with the aid of a strong breeze, it's got to be said, kicked the next three.
Yeah, absolutely, you know. And they got the ball in long and deep. And they were having shots, if they'll, set up shots, they'll probably from about 10 to 30 out. And I actually thought the Bulldogs, for the first half of the game, looked really impressive with the way they moved it.
David Hale stole that goal late in that first quarter, which was really important for the momentum, and it helped the Hawks as they led into the second term. Xavier Murphy got on the end of this one. The Hawks were able to actually slam through a couple of other goals in the second quarter rather. Mark Lott kicked 2 of them at 22 and 23-minute mark, and that enabled them to hold a 12-point lead at half-time.
Yeah, and a 12-point lead in these conditions is quite a strong lead, and the way that Box Hill got their goals in terms of forcing the players up and then getting them on the rebound, made it really hard to defend.
Then in the third quarter, it was a couple of goals early to the Bulldogs before the Hawks got moving. They slammed through 3 in a row. Hartung, Willsmore and then Sam Grimley were able to get the Hawks to a 19-point lead, and they looked to be going like winners. But then Clay Smith, we saw, applied that big tackle and then kicked the goal, and it was really significant because the Dogs were able to get back in front before a late goal stolen by James Sicily of the Hawks.
Yeah, look, Clay Smith was impressive all day. He won the inside ball. He spread hard, he went forward, he tackled, he kicked goals. For my liking, he was best on ground.
Well, it set us up for a stunning last quarter, and it started brilliantly with Hayes with a goal at the first minute. This was a controversial moment. Scores were level. Xavier Murphy had already kicked 2 goals in the quarter, snapped that one through. It ended up being a rush behind against Jordan Russell, and it meant that the Hawks led by 1 point. But after that, they just finished a bit stronger.
Yeah, they certainly did. They surged forward, and they hit the scoreboard when it mattered. And the Doggies, they defended triumphantly, but they struggled to move it past the halfway mark of the ground, in which so did Box Hill earlier in the game.
Liam Jones was pretty handy all day. This was a good kick to the advantage of Clay Smith, who slotted his 3rd goal at the final siren, and it added, it was probably bittersweet in the end for Smith. He tried so hard, had been so brilliant. To kick that goal after the siren meant that in the end, the final score was the Bulldogs 13-11, 89, but they were defeated by the Box Hill Hawks today by 7 points. Hawks 15-6, 96, and it meant that the Bulldogs were knocked off their perch at the top of the ladder after 14 rounds of the VFL season.